In this episode, I go over my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, October 6th, 2021. What's going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. This is the show where I break down my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, October 6th, 2021. Cannot believe we are into October already. This is nuts. But hey, it's another great week for comics. I was just looking ahead at some of the titles that are coming out, and I have to say there was a good 15 titles that I'm really excited for, and I had to really shrink it down to the 10 that I'm looking forward to most. So if you are new to this particular show, this is where I break down my top 10 picks. And again, these are just books I'm looking forward to, not necessarily anything of speculation or any other purposes other than just excited to actually read these books, things that I like to recommend to others. And I always say too, if you don't see a book on this list and you know that they're coming out next week, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I missed it or I'm just not reading it. Like I said, there's like 15 books here that I really wanted to add to this list. Obviously try to keep this down to only 10. So always open to recommendations. Leave the comment in the comment section below. And shout out to everybody that's in the premiere chat right now. Always like to recognize all of you. Thanks so much for just hanging out. If you guys wanted to catch this series premiered live, they go premiered live every 12:30 Eastern time every Thursday. So you can always swing by for that. Otherwise, thanks for just taking the time, as always, to just watch these videos. So with all that being said, let's kick it off with my number 10 book on the list. And I'm going to kick it off with Out, issue number 1. This is by Rob Williams, Will Conrad doing the artwork. It's an AWA Upshot book. AWA's been doing some really great things. This is issue 1 of 5 that's kicking off. And just caught my attention as I was scrolling through here. It says, in the waning days of World War II, with the Allies advancing, a desperate Nazi officer unearths an ancient force of evil that he hopes will turn the tides of battle, a vampire. To test the power of his secret weapon, he unleashes the monster on an unsuspected group of allies. It is up to this language expert to communicate with the vampire to find out what it really wants. It seems like a really cool concept. I'm a fan of vampire type stories, so I'm going to give it a shot. Again, AWA, just generally speaking, I enjoy a lot of the things that they've been putting out. They really haven't let me down on anything that I've read so far. So I'm going to give that a shot, and that'll be my number 10 pick of the week, Out, issue number 1. Let's see, going into number 9, this book right here, it's called Chicken Devil number 1. And this is an Aftershock book. You guys know me. I give anything that's Aftershock, I'm giving it a shot no matter what. So I'm going to give this a shot here. Chicken Devil number 1. It is written by Brian Buccellato and Hayden Sherman doing the artwork and the cover art here, which I love the cover here. Very bright. Love the vibes. It says Mitchell Moss is about as regular as it gets. He's married with 2 children and co-owns a successful chain of Memphis hot chicken restaurants. It's not the life that screams hero/vigilante until he discovers that his business partner is in bed with the mob and owes them $2 million. Unfortunately, Mitch is ill-equipped to be a badass. He's just a guy who makes really good chicken. Can he protect his family from cold-blooded gangsters? Absolutely not. But maybe the Chicken Devil can. Yeah. So just the artwork here, it caught my eye. It's Aftershock. I'm going to give it a shot no matter what. Watch this book just be an amazing read. I'm really looking forward to it and hoping that it is. But that's going to be my number 9 pick of the week, Chicken Devil, issue number 1. Let's go into my number 8 pick, which I'm returning to Pirate Queen. This is issue number 2. I've talked very highly about Pirate Queen even before it came out. This is a Bad Idea book. The one that came out last month, issue 1, loved it. I really, really was surprised how much I was into this. I think it's only 4 or 5 issues altogether. I know a lot of these Bad Idea books lately are a bit shorter in terms of number of issues. But essentially it's about this woman, I think her name is Monday. Yes, Monday Ryan is her name. And she was essentially born at sea, lived her whole life at sea. She had met this guy who she married, became her husband. They had they were going to have a baby, or she's pregnant, and along came these British ships, which basically attacked them. They murdered her husband and basically left her for dead, and being pregnant and everything. And so she has now vowed to essentially get revenge on these individuals. And there's some heavy moments actually in the first issue, and some of the things that she does in the name of love, and to kind of make sacrifices in which she thinks, to save her family. Really good read. But that's going to be my number 8 pick. Pirate Queen, issue number 2. Let's see, going into my number 7, I've heard nothing but really good things, at least in terms of like the hype of this particular book. This is Arkham City, The Order of the World, issue number 1. I know it's another technically like a Batman title, or at least focused around, Batman, that style. But it's Dan Waters doing the writing for this. Danny doing the penciler, or doing the penciling, which I know that name, Danny. I don't know the work that artist has done otherwise, but just looking at the cover here, it looks like everything and more, in which I would want for something that's coming about for Arkham City. So I don't know much else about it. I don't need to know much else about it. I know that there's 6 issues altogether. It is a miniseries, but I've heard some really good things, so I'm going to give it a shot and put that at my number 7 pick of the week. Arkham City, The Order of the World, issue number 1. Flying through this list today, going with my number 6 pick here, The Last Book You'll Ever Read, issue number 3. This book has been great. I've been really enjoying it. It's Cullen Bunn doing the artwork. I'm sorry, doing the writing, and Layla Lee's doing the artwork, which I've been blown away by. I've actually reached out to Layla Lee's. She's a really kind person, really easy to talk to. Maybe get her on the show at some point. Fingers crossed. That would be really cool. Trying to plan something out with her, but for an Origins interview. But man, love the artwork here. Love the concept of this book. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it is about this one author who essentially writes this book about life and about the collapse of civilization, and it has like a lot of really deep messages in the book that they don't necessarily go in detail on. It breaks down a little bit in the first issue, but essentially giving you this idea that it is just so what's the word? So captivating, so powerful of a read, of a book, that it is making people do things that people aren't really sure how or why or what's going on. But basically, and judging by the title, right, The Last Book You'll Ever Read, people are dying because of this book, and other people are reacting in a vicious way, a violent way, and basically she's going to go on tour, and she is determined to go on tour, even though there are people who want her book essentially banned and destroyed, and they want nothing to do with her. They don't want her coming to their town, and yet there's also like fans, people who want to read the book, people who are interested to hear and believe what she says, believe what she's written, and so it's really mixed. And it's gotten as far as the point where in the beginning of the first issue, she gets attacked by someone who's there at one of her book signings during the beginning of her book tour, and actually that attack was not enough to like keep her away or scare her from this tour. She's like determined to still go on tour, so she hires this guy. His name's Connor, basically her own personal what do you call it, right hand man to protect her, or I'm at a loss of words here for his particular job. But Connor, the main deal or rule for him is that he cannot read this book. She said, you can come on tour with me. Bodyguard. Yes, thank you, everybody in the chat right now who's probably typing it. That's the word I was trying to think of. Connor being the bodyguard, the deal is he cannot read the book. She said that's the one thing. And issue 2, we see that these two get a little closer, which may or may not be a good idea for this goal of hers in continuing this tour. But we'll see how things turn out with this issue right here. But that's going to be my number 6 pick of the week, The Last Book You'll Ever Read, issue number 3. If you're not on this, highly recommend it. It's a Vault comic, and it's very good. All right, guys, so we are halfway through the list, and I know normally at this time I do a community shout out, but I thought I'd change it up just a little bit and do an actual giveaway for those who had participated in something I requested last episode or last top 10 breakdown that I did from last week. So I had to change it up here a little bit because I want to be able to share my screen so you guys can kind of see this wheel that I should set up here now. But before I get into that, let me just explain. So last Thursday, I should say, during the top 10, towards the very end, I did ask for anybody who really stuck it out and watched the rest of this video. I asked them if they could just put an emoji, a pumpkin emoji, in the comment section of the actual video itself. So I just asked if you could do that, if you saw it, if you were like watching at that time. I was just asking for the favor of, hey, throw this pumpkin in the comment section. That shows me that you hung out towards the very end. You stayed watching, paying attention, and I just appreciate those who did that. And I know maybe not everybody added this pumpkin and moved on, but I know that a lot of you still continue to watch my stuff and really watch through the entire video, which I really appreciate so much. So a big thanks to everyone who does that. But if I wanted to take a moment for those who had actually put a pumpkin in the comment section below. I wanted to give credit and do a little bit of a fun giveaway. So what I'm going to do is raffle it all. I'm going to do a raffle, and the winner of this raffle is going to get a free No Good Comics t-shirt, which I will put on screen here. So a No Good Comics t-shirt, which if anyone else is interested to buy their own, there's a link in the description below in which you can find my little t-shirt store and pick up a shirt for yourself. But the winner of this will get one for free. If you are out of the country, I ask that you just pay the difference of whatever the shipping cost is. I will put $15 towards the shipping, and I would just ask that you pay the difference. Otherwise, if you're in the States, it's completely on me. And so, yeah, there were a total of 6 people, I believe. And let me just pull that up real quick. There were 6 people who left an emoji, or at least attempted to leave an emoji along with the rest of their comment. And so read them off right now. We have Comic Burrito, aka Cole, who put in parentheses pumpkin emoji, and then he went on to list a few other issues that he was excited for this week coming out. He listed Crossover, Die, and Adventure Man are all books that he's looking forward to. So that I appreciate you, Cole, for adding that in. And then scrolling down a little further, again, just looking at the comment section of last week's episode, I see JV had added and said, great video, a lot of number ones coming out. And then he also put the pumpkin emoji as well. So thank you, JV, for participating in that and adding that pumpkin emoji. Then I have my good friend Michael here, Sove Collector, who he put a pineapple, and he says, he put a little pineapple emoji. He says, I've got a pineapple, not trying to be clever, but I can't find a pumpkin. So that is good enough, my friend. I really appreciate the effort. And then we also have my good friend Nick. Nick Comic Culture had put Station. So Station you, Nick. Thank you, my friend, for also adding in a pumpkin emoji. And 2 others here. We have Sleepy Reader 666. Sleepy, you've always been a great supporter of the channel, and I really just appreciate you, man. So thank you for taking some time to throw that pumpkin emoji in the chat as well, or in the comment section as well. And then we also have Scott Hazelwood, who also added a pumpkin emoji to the comment section. So Scott, I've been seeing your name come up again and again, not just in my chats, but in other people in this YouTube community, their chats as well. So appreciate you, Scott, for doing that and taking the time to watch these videos. And everybody, there are a lot of people that left comments, and I know a lot of people that were in the live chats as well, which I do appreciate. This was just a fun little thing where I just wanted to see if anybody would actually go and do to actually take a moment, because I am always asking, like, hey, do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section below. It definitely helps the channel. And on top of that, I am always curious, if you have any recommendations or things that you felt I may have missed. And so this time around, just wanted to have you throw a pumpkin emoji, especially because we've been talking about, or I've been talking about, being in this Halloween mode, essentially, this horror vibe, all these horror books that I've been reading and collecting as of late. So, and of course, now we're already talking about New Comic Book Day for October 6th. So Halloween right around the corner. So let me share my screen here, and let me bring that up real quick, and then we'll get back into the top 10. Sorry for anybody who was here specifically for the top 10, but I did want to just do a little bit of a fun giveaway here. And I know I'm taking up a few extra minutes than what I probably should be, but it's to give back. So that's what I want to do. So here is the Wheel of Names. Let me share that. Make sure that you guys can see that there. So I did paste them in. Yes, so there it is. So just to confirm, I have Comic Burrito, JV, Sove Collector, Nick Comic Culture, Sleepy Reader 666, and Scott Hazelwood. Just gonna look that over one more time. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna mix this up 3 times. I don't know why 3, but 3 just seems like a solid number. So we will shuffle it up once, twice, and 3 times. And then the little button. All right, just click here. So good luck, and see who wins a No Good Comics t-shirt. Let's see. The winner is it is my man Michael, aka Sove Collector. Is this on? Yes, I do. There you go, man. Convenient little hype button there. Sove Collector, congrats, man. Michael, you are the winner for this. So, hey, cool thing is, I know Michael already has a No Good Comics t-shirt. He's actually taken some time to buy one on his own. And Michael, I truly appreciate that. So I'm glad that I will be able to give you another one, and I will make sure that it's not the same logo as the one you have. I do have a couple other options. So maybe we'll send you I Live for Mutant Monday, #Mutant Monday t-shirt along the way. So there you have it. Michael Sove Collector, congrats. And thank you to everyone who left a pumpkin emoji. And thank you to everyone who left a regular comment or was just hanging out in this premiere chat like you are right now. I appreciate that from everybody. And I think what I'm going to do, at least for this next coming month, because this was just a sporadic idea that I had. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue playing this game, but I'm going to do it in a longer term. So moving forward, I may put somewhere in my videos to do me a favor and leave a comment with a specific emoji, or maybe some other random request that might tie in Instagram or something else. And if you do that, then you will be entered into the next giveaway. And maybe I turn this into like a monthly thing. We'll see. We'll have some fun with it. So all I will say is, be warned, just a heads up, there might be random requests throughout these videos, these top 10 new comic book day videos that I've been doing. So if you want to participate, you want to have a little fun, keep an eye out for those. But I see that I've already spent way too much time here babbling on about this fun stuff. So I, again, appreciate everybody, but I'm going to cut this here and we can get back into the list. So for my number 5 pick, I'm going to go with this book right here, Last Flight Out, issue number 2. I have to say, wow, the first issue I was really taken by, was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This is a Dark Horse comic book. Let's see, the writer, Mark Guggenheim, and the artist, Eduardo Ferragamo, also doing the artwork on the cover here. The story itself is essentially about a scientist who basically runs this entire fleet of planning out the idea of moving the entire world or the population out into orbit, because the Earth is no longer safe to live in, basically. He's a scientist. So his name is Ben. So basically, Ben is in charge of like some really big things for the entire world. And what he's figured out and how to get everybody to basically leave Earth. And while all this is going on, as it's literally like 24 hours before evacuation, he finds out that his daughter is missing. And while he's had what we've seen as like some flashbacks so far of him maybe not necessarily always being there or them not having the best relationship, he wants to do whatever it takes to save his daughter and make sure that she evacuates the planet along with almost everybody else. And so they go through some really great lengths in order to do so. You get to see some strong feelings that some of the pilots that go with him feel about him, and how they feel that, why do we have to do this with you? Like, why is it just for this one particular person? We're risking this whole mission. And also the fact that he's very important. Like, they need him in order to run the rest of this mission. And if anything goes wrong with him, then things could go very wrong for the population as we know it. So there's a lot at stake here. And yet he wants to go out of his way to really make sure that his daughter, which is understandable, right? That he wants to make sure his daughter is safe and joins him and the rest of the world as they leave the world, essentially. So really love the first issue. If it sounds like something that you might be interested in, I highly recommend. I mean, this is only issue 2 now, so it's easy to get into. I don't know how many issues this is actually going to be. I assume maybe a 5 or 6 miniseries, or who knows, maybe this is ongoing. That would be really cool too. But either way, definitely recommend this book, and that's why it's within my top 5. Just had to have it. So Last Flight Out issue number 2 is my number 5 pick of the week. Let's see, going in. So these last 4, I'm telling you right now, these last 4 are probably 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D, because it is that close. And I had mentioned earlier, like there are, there was like 15 books that were on this list. And so I'm curious, for some of you watching this now, or if you're in the premiere chat, if there's like 1 or 2 books that you're waiting on and maybe it's not on this list, or maybe it is on this list. I'm curious. As I said in the beginning, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. But my number 4 pick, I mean, this book has been a number 1 or a number 2 for me for the past, I don't know how many months that this series has been putting books out, but it is Swamp Thing issue number 8, and it's my number 4 pick. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Swamp Thing's easily been my number 1 or my number 2 every single month, but here it's kind of fallen to 8 just because we'll get to it. We'll get to the other books and why they are, to me, something I'm more excited for. But don't get me wrong, I am so excited for this book. Swamp Thing has been one of my favorite reads right now, out of all, not just DC, but just anything coming out right now. It gives you the horror type vibes, at least for me. That's what I'm always looking for, right? Swamp Thing has been a character that I've really starting to fall in love with over these past few months, going from reading some of the Alan Moore stuff to jumping forward to now with Ram V. And I have to say, and I say this every time, but if you don't know anything about Swamp Thing, that's okay. You can still jump into this. This is about a different character who has taken over the Swamp Thing avatar, essentially. And it is something that anybody can get into. Yes, there are tiny tie-ins, tiny tie-ins that go back to the Alan Moore stuff that I appreciate since I read it. But even if I didn't, you won't be lost, even if you didn't know this stuff. And I will say, and I say this every time too, if you're not a Swamp Thing person, you might be sitting home watching right now saying, I don't know, Justin, I really am not. I never read Swamp Thing, really not a fan, don't think I'd get into it. But if you like horror, if you like that dark stuff, or if you just like great writing because it's Ram V, I do recommend giving this a shot, starting back at issue number 1, because it has been that good. So it seems like Ram V has really found his comfort zone with a book like this. I just feel like he's knocking this out of the park with his writing style and everything that he is putting into this particular project. So I know overall this is a 10-issue miniseries. So this is issue 8. So we only have so much more to go. Maybe you get to the point where you just wait for trade if that's the case. Either way, I would keep this keep this on your list of things to read eventually if it's not something you've already been reading. But that's going to be my number 4 pick of the week. Oh, and shout out to the artist Mike Perkins, who's been doing a tremendous job as well. The overall vibes of the panels in this book are very much similar to the ones that we got back in the day, back in the 70s, even earlier than that, that were done for Swamp Thing series. So very unique, very dark, great stuff. So that's going to be my number 4 pick of the week, Swamp Thing, issue number 8 by Ram V. All right, number 3, another one I'm really excited for. It is The Me You Love in the Dark, issue number 3. Gosh, the artwork in this book alone is so beautiful. Jorge Corona, who is also the artist who worked on Middle West, and just so happens Middle West was the one written by Scotty Young, who is also writing this book. So if you guys didn't know already, Scotty Young and Jorge Corona are teaming up once again for this series. I think, I'm not sure, but I think this is only 5 or 6 issues. I think I don't know if this is ongoing. I would love if this was ongoing. I really feel like it's only 5 or 6 issues, but we will see. These two creators they work magic with what they put out. So I'm loving this series. It probably is better in trade, as most modern books are. This is probably better in trade overall. I do feel Middle West was better in trade, at least from what I've read so far. I'm still not done. I need to catch up on Middle West, but yeah, I would say either way. I mean, this has just been a beautiful story so far, and really enjoying it. It's dark. It's not like overly scary, but it does have like a horror type vibe, but it's a little more lighthearted. And I feel like there's a lot of emotion in it as well. Basically about this artist who wanted to escape and try to come up with their new painting, their new idea for a new painting. They're very successful. They've had a lot of things published and a lot of popularity over the years. And now this is her name is Ro. This is Ro's opportunity to now start on her new project, in which she moves into this new house that's like in the middle of nowhere to try to get away and get her creativities flowing. And yet she kind of gets stumped again. She's kind of in a rut. And when they bought the house, there was like some warning that there was rumors of it being, haunted or whatever. And, she kind of laughed at that. She's like, I don't care. I want the house. I'm not worried about some silly writing of a haunting, being known to be haunting or whatever, haunted. So lo and behold, there is a ghost that's involved. And it's interesting at last issue to kind of see the relationship so far and getting to know a tiny bit of like what this ghost is about and kind of where they're headed. So overall, just the artwork. I can't say enough about the artwork. Absolutely stunning interior work. Really would recommend it even just for that alone. But yeah, give this a shot. I really think that this is just a great read, and I think it's going to just continue to be great. So that's going to be my number three pick of the week. The Me You Love in the Dark, issue number 3. Getting down to the final 2 here, and man, going back to DC, my number 2 pick is The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 5. Can't believe we are on issue 5 now. This series, I was just talking about before how like, or I just mentioned like a lot of modern books are good in trade format. This series is kind of opposite, where it's like each individual issue is its own little story on these different characters that we're learning about within this house that they've all come together thanks to this creepy guy Walter, who we're still learning about. But I love the way that Tynion is telling this story of each individual character that is introduced in this house. And I mean, it's just everything about it. It's horror. It's super dark. It is the artwork is fantastic. The artist Alvaro Martinez Bueno doing a tremendous job. Did the artwork here on this cover that we're looking at right now. If you guys are not familiar with it, well, one, you should be reading this book. I don't care what you're into or not into. This should be a book that's on your pull list. This should be a book that you should be checking out. I feel like I don't say that often about the idea of you should do something. You take it how you will. But this is a book I really would recommend to anybody, and especially if you like horror or if you like James Tynion, his work. It's just been fantastic. So. So if you don't know what it is about, essentially it's about these strangers, or at least some of them are strangers. These people who come together, they were invited from a friend of theirs, this guy Walter, who they all learn that they have these connections with each other and with Walter as they get to know each other. But in issue 1, they all get invited to this really beautiful, fancy house on this lake. And as this happens, basically the world dies. I mean, that's basically what happens. And they can't leave. And they don't know why. They don't know what's going on. They can't get in touch with anybody. They try to use their social media and their cell phones, and they try to call their friends and family. And they notice, like, social media goes dark. Like, Twitter goes dark. People are posting these gruesome things, ways of people are dying and flesh being burnt off skin and all this crazy stuff. It is really really dark. It's not for kids, but it's a really great read, and I do recommend it. So if you guys are not reading The Nice House on the Lake, do yourself a favor, read the damn book. It is so good. So this is issue number 5 coming out, and that's gonna be my number 2 pick of the week, The Nice House on the Lake. All right, before we get into number 1, as always, take a moment, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. My number 1 pick, it's got to go to this book right here, Dark Ages issue number 2. Man, oh man, this book has been so good, and I was like, where do I want to put this book? Because I almost didn't give this book a shot when it was first coming out. I remember it was on my top 10 list, prior to coming out, and the main reason was because it's Tom Taylor, and I've been loving everything that Tom Taylor does, from Nightwing to Superman and so on and so forth. everything he's putting out, I'm just really, really enjoying. So that's why I initially gave this a shot, and I am so glad I did. If you guys have not read Dark Ages issue number 1, go back, pick up the issue, buy it on Comixology, whatever it is. Read the damn thing. It is so, so good, so epic. Issue 1 just left me feeling like I felt when I was leaving the theater for Infinity War from the MCU. It was of that. You know, obviously not as epic in terms of that's a film and that just blew me away, but the chills that this gave me and just the build up and the setup, the stage setup that Taylor does here with this book did a really good job. It did a really good job, and enough for me to where I was feeling some type of way, right? I was feeling for these characters and wondering how they're going to get out of this I don't want to just call it a jam, because it's way more than just a jam, right? How are they going to get out of this huge situation that they're in? And it is just epic. It's absolutely epic. So I'm not going to get into the details, but I will say Dark Ages is a book that I think anybody should be, everyone should be checking out. And at least just give issue 1 a shot. Give it a shot. And I think that's all you'll need. I think that's all you'll need, and you're going to be hooked. The artwork here, Ivan Coelho doing a great job. Really beautiful stuff on the interior stuff. I know there's a bunch of variants for this as well, or at least there was for issue 1. But yeah, have to say, I mean, even this cover here, I'm all on board. I love it. So I love these big time events, I mean, that are happening. I don't know how or if this is going to tie into anything else that's going on right now. I think this is kind of like a standalone compared to where everything else is right now in Marvel. But man, this has just been, it's epic. It is epic. So that's going to be my number 1 pick of the week, Dark Ages issue number 2. Go get issue 1 if you haven't read it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So that's it. That's it, guys. That is my list for New Comic Book Day coming out in October 6th, 2021. So I know this is top 10. Like I said, there's really like 15, 16 books that I wanted to add into this list. So I'm sure there are some, you guys are probably like, what about this book? What about that book? What about The Lot, right? Like I know The Lot was one of them. Man, there was a bunch that I wanted to add in here. But I gotta make cuts somewhere, right? I gotta make cuts. But let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Give me a recommendation if there's something that I'm missing here. Maybe I'm reading it and I, again, just couldn't fit it on the top 10. But either way, before you leave here, take a moment, leave a comment in the comment section below. This time, let's change it up. Let's see. Leave me a little emoji of the sun. All right, we'll just throw the sun out there because hopefully it's a beautiful day as you're watching this. Leave an emoji of the sun. Let me. That'll give me the little cue that you had, kind of stuck through here. And I appreciate everybody who takes that time to really watch these videos, watch it all the way through, and of course to leave a comment. Means so much to me. I'm going to have some fun with these, this trick with the emojis and things like that. We'll see where this goes. But anyways, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Everybody in the premiere chat right now, shout out to all of you. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until next time, I will talk to you later.